What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everyone doing? Just we're doing so. Let me explain what's happening tonight. So we're doing a little bit of audio testing. How's the mic sound? You may need to elevate this a little bit more, actually. But more specifically, we're doing some more video testing. So we got some new video equipment and just checking how the quality looks, if it's working right, all that good stuff. So let me know if you're watching this. Um, Give me some feedback. Is the video looking good? Is the audio sounding good? Give up some thumbs up and all that good stuff. Um, Also, too, I'm gonna go ahead and share this post online so people know that we're doing a live session right now. So we're doing this audio testing um, and this video testing. Hold on one second. Let me just put this up. Um, there we go. So we're doing this live feed to kind of test out this new equipment that we got. Get your feedback. Oh, I like that. It's like a little zoom effect kind of thing. Zoom in on my forehead. But specifically, what we're doing is we're gearing up for the new season of RevFit Radio. If you don't know, that's our podcast that we produce. It's we've been doing it now for about 4 or 5 years. There's some big breaks in between seasons. Just ironing out logistics kind of thing. But we're coming back for our new season in 2 weeks, actually. So we'll have our first broadcast on, let me get this exact date so I don't mess it up, on Thursday, September 13th. So we're going to be going live every Thursday for an official episode of RevFit Radio. And so I'm joined with my co-host, Renee Boslet, and we kind of monkey around a little bit, talk everything health, fitness, and wellness, and then also to bring on a guest every now and again to get their insight on different subject matter. And we have kind of slated out our season for season 5, but we're also open to any feedback or thoughts on things you want to hear about, discuss, all that good stuff. So definitely tune in to RevFit Radio. But I did all this long song and dance, kind of checking things out, but also to say that RevFit Radio is, of course, on iTunes and Stitcher and all that kind of stuff. We're getting it on Spotify. But also, too, we've done a few live streams via Facebook Live in the past, and that's been good. And we had a lot of great, people, tuning in and giving thoughts and asking questions, all that good stuff. But the thing about Facebook is that the quality of the videos is fairly low. The ability to reshare the videos has limitations. And also, too, you don't really have ownership of that video. It's very hard to get a good high quality version of that video onto your desk drive. And also, YouTube is just one of the biggest, platforms and mediums out there, way bigger than Facebook for sure. And so we decided to shift our efforts away from Facebook Live and shift them onto YouTube. And in addition to that, we've also created our new YouTube page for the Revolutionary Fitness Academy. So this is the YouTube page for RevFit New York City, so our New York City Revolutionary Fitness affiliates. But we also have our large academy, which is how we do our certifications and courses and workshops. And that oversees or kind of helps manage all of our affiliates. So that page, Revolutionary Fitness Academy, is where all of the content that is relevant to all of our affiliates will be centralized. So we're going to have the podcast on there. We're going to be doing live workshops on there, educational workshops. Whenever we do live streams around cleanses or nutritional stuff, it'll be on there. We're fleshing out an exercise library on there, tons of different resources, different exercise routines. It's going to be a really, really dope YouTube page. There's a lot of people who are behind the effort to make that YouTube page successful and flourishing and all that good stuff. But of course, there's going to be our transition period, getting subscribers, all that kind of stuff. So definitely, if you can, go ahead and subscribe. I left the link in the bio, but I'll also leave it in the comment section in the chat here, because since it's a new YouTube page, it's not verified. We need like 100 subscribers or something like that. So it has this funky URL. So we created this, like short bit.ly URL that is not as short. It's not really that short anyways, but it's shorter and more legible than the other ones. So go ahead and follow that link. Go ahead and subscribe to the new YouTube page. So if anyone jumps on here, I'll definitely field any questions and all that good stuff. But I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about in general. So the date is August 27th. So we're coming into the new season when summer's winding down. So people are kind of, mellowed out and catching up on everything they need to do before September begins. And then of course in September, where, people are going back to school or, seasons change and all that good stuff. So it's a big transition period. And sometimes these seasonal transitions, especially as we go from warmer months to cooler and then eventually colder months, can be very stressful on people's health and fitness. And people, I think, are very ambitious when September comes around. It's almost like New Year's. It's a very similar trend of how people make New Year's resolutions. I mean, it's not to the scale of New Year's, but very similar, where a lot of us become very ambitious. We want to undo any potential mishaps from the summer, and we want to, feel healthy going into the new season. So a lot of us make goals and make commitments to a gym or to a workout program, and all of that is great, and we're super for that. Everyone should do that. But what ends up happening is that it's without clear planning, and sometimes overly ambitious. And usually people go at it alone. And so the confusion is very high. But I think it's important for people to, take it easy on themselves as they're making this transition into the new season. Don't become overly stressed or overly ambitious with things that you're trying to do in the new season. Be mindful that you are going through a seasonal transition. And so there's some adjusting of your lifestyle, of your diet, of your, daily activities that needs to happen. And so that's already stressful. That's already your brain and your body and your spirit in many ways working on making those transitions. So to add a load of a very drastic and strenuous workout routine is not necessarily the best thing to do. So knowing that you're going through the seasonal transition, have the same ambition of wanting to get healthy and fit and all these kind of things, but really, go at a scale that is more progressive, that's more realistic for you to stick to. You weren't working out all summer and you was on vacation and you was doing this and doing that and eating this and eating that, to I'm working out 7 days a week. I'm cutting out, dairy. I'm, drinking 5 gallons of water a day, whatever it is. Don't make those drastic transitions as September comes around. Cool. Let's see here. Nice. So yeah, so it seems like the video is going well. I'm liking there's some lighting issues where I'm at right now, but I'm liking the quality of this video versus the quality of our regular camera. So that's good. All right, cool. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I just came back from vacation. So I was away with my family for just under 2 weeks. And it was a super random trip. Because we just financially it wasn't there, work schedule wasn't there. We didn't really get a chance to do much this summer. It was a pretty busy summer for us, and mentally exhausting summer. I went to the beach like one time the whole summer, which is rare for me. If people know that I used to be 2-3 times a day at the beach and all that kind of stuff. But, that's neither here nor there. The trip was unexpected, but it ended up being like one of the best vacations I've taken in a long time. And it's not necessarily because of where I went, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but it was more about what I did with my relationship to the internet while I was on vacation. And it's nothing profound or new or something that you haven't heard before, but I just want to share my experience. And if you have any thoughts or comments, you can go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. But so for those that know, I went to Oregon. I went to Eugene, Oregon. I'm based in New York City. I'm a city boy. I've been to the West Coast in California, but I've never been to the Pacific Northwest. But I've always wanted to go. I've always, always been intrigued by that part of the country. The landscapes that I've seen on television and different movies like The Goonies and all that kind of stuff is really awesome. Also, there's some really cool Bigfoot stuff, and I'm kind of into all that sci-fi alien stuff. So it's really cool to see the terrain and hear about all these cool stories I've read about and looked over the years, what part of the world it came from. Also, too, that part of the country is where there was a very heavy population of Native Americans, of indigenous people that went through a really, really aggressive kind of colonization, intense gentrification, and many times imprisoned, killed. It was really, really an intense part of the world. You've heard of Oregon Trail. Well, the Oregon Trail basically was this migration from the plains, from the middle of the country up into the Pacific Northwest, and kind of taking that territory, the colonizers from indigenous people. And so, I was intrigued on that front. I'm very involved in, indigenous rights activism and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to see what the land looked like and all that goodness. But we get out there, and for those that know, Oregon is a very green state. In terms of the coastal region where I was, so Portland, and then I was in Eugene, and then even further west is the coastline, like 2 hours away from those major cities, 2 to 3 hours, depending on where you're driving from. You get to the Pacific Northwest coast, which is absolutely gorgeous. The water is really cold. So you can go in there, but you have your scuba suit and all that kind of stuff. And so I didn't go submerge myself in the water like that, but just being on those waterfronts is really impressive how it goes from this cliffside down to these small beaches, and all the beaches are very different. Some of them are big beaches actually, but really, really drastic kind of cliffs and volcano formations from dormant volcanoes. Really, really gorgeous and impressive to see. And it's also cool because in that part of Oregon, where Eugene and then Portland is just 2 to 3 hours north, but in that part of Oregon, if you drive 2 hours this way, you're at the snow caps, and you can go snowboarding and skiing. If you go 2 hours this way, you're in the desert. If you go an hour or two this way, you're at the coastline. And it's a pretty unique part of the country for sure. Really beautiful. Also, too, it's a green state in the sense that marijuana is fully legal. If you're over 21, you can access, cannabinoids, marijuana, vapes, all that kind of stuff is decriminalized and super duper legal, which is really awesome too. I'm a big proponent of the legalization of marijuana. We'll have a whole episode, actually. Me and Renee are going to be talking about that good stuff. But that's great. And that does something, I think, to the people and their health and their mental state when things are decriminalized and more accessible. What I would say, though, is that Oregon, and it kind of ties back to the history of that part of the country, is very, very white. So it's not diverse. There's very little people of color, small pockets here and there, a couple of African Americans, a little bit more Asian, a little bit more Latino, but mostly working in service-based kind of stuff, like working in restaurants and all that kind of stuff, but really, really small populations. And so, and then where there is people of color, a lot of them are, very poor communities, very limited access to things. But it's crazy to think that it's such a fruitful and beautiful part of the country, but it really is only accessible to white folks, which is, we'll have a future conversation on that. Maybe we'll get some guests on the podcast talking about indigenous rights in the Pacific Northwest. That'd be really dope. But yeah, so in any case, so, you know, I had a lot of fun. It was enjoyable, beautiful. Got access to a lot of good vegan food and, you know, farmers markets and dispensaries and all that kind of stuff. Is really dope. But yeah, a little bit too lacking of diversity. We'll put it like that. It wasn't diverse enough. But what I wanted to talk about is what I did on my vacation. So I decided to do a full unplugging, or as full as unplugging as possible from technology. So I put up my last post on Facebook the day I flew out. After I posted that post, I went into my phone, I deleted Facebook, I deleted the Facebook Messenger app. I didn't delete Instagram, but I put it into a folder that I couldn't see it, but I didn't delete it. I don't know why that happened, but yes, I deleted all those things. I also, you know, when I was out in Oregon, I had this rule that I would only be on my phone once a day to check emails and text messages. But even that was limited because I had an away message on my email. So I was only checking for super urgent stuff. But even then, not really. I was checking like once every 3 days. It ended up being text messaging. I would check in the morning and then basically have my phone on airplane mode for the rest of the day and really just using it as a camera more than anything else. Even days when I would just leave my cell phone home altogether. And just, you know, go out, and my partner Jenny would have her phone and use that as a camera. But I was 100% off of social media for 11 days. I also had no TV access. I didn't watch any TV, not once. I did a couple of YouTube videos, but not even really, because I didn't really have good access to Wi-Fi, so I wasn't even trying to use my data up. But I say all this because during those 10, let's say 10 days, when I was fully unplugged, you know, when I got back and I reconnected, yeah, there was some updates I needed to get, some communications that were kind of lingering that I needed to get to, but nothing fell apart. You know, I didn't miss out on big, grand things that were happening in the world. Like, you know, I didn't get to see people's posts every day and pictures and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't that big a deal. But what it did for me personally is the experience I had was I just felt, so kids play fighting over here. I just felt like the day was more fulfilled. I felt like there was more I was getting out of my day. You know, outside of the fact that I wasn't wasting time on social media, getting caught up, scrolling through news feeds, engaging, replying to comments and all that kind of stuff. I also just, you know, I was just feeling like, okay, I'm not even thinking about that stuff. I'm just thinking about the here and now, what's in front of me, the people I'm interacting with. I'm thinking about the future, plotting out course for the next couple of months, you know, just so much more clarity. Of course, the environment in Oregon and the clean air and the lack of environmental toxins and noise pollution and all that kind of stuff really helped as well. I also was consuming CBD oil, which we'll talk about soon. I've been looking for some really good CBD oil, got access to it. So that was really dealing with a lot of inflammation and brain fog stuff that I had going on. So was just feeling super refreshed, really fulfilled each day, and feeling like my days were so much longer. So even though it was like a 10-day trip, it felt like I was gone for a month in a good way. Like I really felt like I got the most out of my trip, and I wasn't overextending myself, stressing myself. My anxiety levels weren't high. My stress levels weren't high. And I'm not going to say, of course, that you should do this, like make this drastic change in your life. Don't use social media, blah, blah, blah. I'm not for that, because I think there is a lot of beauty and benefit in social media, YouTube, creating content, engaging with friends and family, and building your audience, building community around issues. Amazing, amazing tools that we have access to. But what it helps when you do this kind of cleanse, I'll call it like a cleanse, this internet social media cleanse, is that it helps you reevaluate your relationship to technology, so that when you reconnect and engage with technology, you're doing it in a healthier way. And I think we all need to unplug and disconnect fully, at least a couple days every couple months. We need to go through that process. So maybe it's every season, just taking a week to pull back, or just like 3 days to pull back, or even just one day. And you'd be surprised. You think you're not connected because you're not really checking in on your stuff, but you'd be surprised if you just turn your phone all the way off and just turn off all, the Wi-Fi in your house, turn off your TVs, and just like chill, write in a journal, write in your book, engage with your family and friends, go out for dinner. Like, you're going to see a big difference in your feeling and state of mind. So I was able to, during those 10 days, really reestablish, I think, a healthier thought process around my engagement with social media and technology. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited about my plan of attack coming back. If you want to know, basically, not getting the Facebook or Facebook Messenger apps back on the phone, keeping those off, really just getting on Facebook for business, even on Messenger, directing everyone away from sending me messages on Messenger. Just shoot me an email, give me a call on my cell phone, that kind of thing. Because I'm more accessible those ways anyways. It's like, why am I going to have like 10 different ways to reach me and then just be like scatterbrained, versus just having like 1 or 2 main ways to reach me and being more clear and focused and being, being reachable, being accessible in a better way. So those aren't coming back on my phone. Instagram is still on the phone. It's a mobile app. It's primarily, it's made for the phone. You could engage on Instagram not using your phone to some degree. But my recommendation is to stay with Instagram. But the plan and what I've been doing now is really just saying, okay, these are the hours, like just scheduling out my day, my work day. And this is my hour of social media engagement. This is when I'm either creating content or engaging or putting a post or resharing content. It's just during this hour or 90-minute period. And then when that's done, I'm done for the day. I'm not checking in on comments. I'm not replying to comments, none of that stuff. That will happen the next day in my session, my work session around social media. And this way I can really separate the personal from the professional and make sure that my efforts are focused, professional, not giving me high anxiety or stress, which social media easily can do, and just really give me peace of mind that I'm not losing a lot of my life to an addiction, a social media addiction, which a lot of us have. Again, I'm not anti-social media. I'm not saying that. But I think going through cleanses, just like we go through a nutritional cleanse, just like when we're on an exercise program, we do a one week off every 3 to 4 months. Just the way we step back from anything in life and say, hey, let me chill from this for a week or 2 or a month, whatever it is you're doing in your life. Let me chill from this, reevaluate what I'm doing with this, and then come back to it in a healthier way. I think that's super important for all of us. So that's just some thoughts I have. We're going to be talking more about my Oregon trip and CBD find actually this Thursday. So we're going to be doing like a mock episode. It's going to be season 5, episode 0 with Renee. And so on Thursday, we're going to just be chatting and catching up and doing some more tests with the audio and all that good stuff in the video. And so definitely tune in to Thursday at 7:45. We'll be going live, and we'll probably be kicking it until about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So definitely tune in this Thursday on the new Revolutionary Fitness Academy YouTube page. So again, check the link in the bio description, check it in the chat, all that good stuff. Again, my name is Sean Garcia with Revolutionary Fitness. Look forward to seeing y'all all soon. All right, peace.